So if you're looking at that pipe we just talked about, the half gap is part of the pipe. So is the high zone, and obviously the 79.5 will be the rotational pivot. Key idea in that sequence. So that's on that bigger frame that we just talked about. And you have to consider that a possibility. You need to break that down. The shorts need to get under this blue line, under pink line, and take it backwards. And sometimes you get the slingshot trade like this, and then it just takes time. Once you get a slingshot, you can't get the reverse slingshot immediately. It takes time. So we know that the big boy is back to the train up, and now the question is, relative to the morning range, who wins? Typically, traders that shorted way too soon need to wiggle out. That's the problem, and why it will often take some time. And as you can see, this chart right here, we're still basically above the blue line. I would like to see us start to penetrate this, but you still have the 10-minute chart and 15s or whatever. So, we can't just close our eyes and say, okay, we're too high, we've got a short. This was the perfect target. We had identified, testing that 85.25, 86 zone. So now the question is, will the big boys say, you know what, we need a little more backing and filling? And let's get them both ways today. So this was a stop run, type trade. And this 70 area, you can see the symmetry here, right? Perfect symmetry from this launch right here. So this is your half gap right in here, in the key idea today. So that's your, basically your 40% pullback of this swing. And step by step, we do not have to abort here and say that's it. We could always make a new high. We already know. Part of this is rollover trading. Part of this is option expiration trading. So I said today will be one of the harder days, you will have seen. Guys that love to buy up here now, that totally missed down here. I get that, trying to stay with a rhythm in the trend. But think of this as, a squeeze pivot until this thing goes. This is range type trading, and in a stolen range at that. So anybody that shorted should be taking some profits here, which will cause a bounce. And then the real key will be what happens at lunch today. And especially those traders who shorted way too soon. Just said, I'm just going to tell you, how far can this thing go? I'll be all right. Those traders are wiggling out right now. And I think we have just as much risk to overtrade and theta burn as anything. So don't compete with anybody. You got a lot of BS floating around out there on Twitter today, especially. God's gift to the trading world, everybody on Twitter. And the only important thing is what can we take out of the day? So if you are focused on sensible trades, then obviously you could take the trade either way you want at the open. If you want to wait for 85 to short, you should be buying. You don't have to, but you should be. And that will finance that trade. And this was a perfect, hold support at the open of the previous day's high. So several breakouts here, and basically just, again, a profit-taking. This is a forced, sweep out, get the targets, and then hit Charlie and everybody else on the way back on this bounce. And still, relatively light volume. I still think this is part of rollover, and it's definitely part of options expiration. And you can see the importance of this zone. This is a middle pivot. And you'll see different ideas expressed here and there, but usually they're there for a reason. That's a middle pivot in a bigger swing. That's why it's over here on this 120 chart. And obviously this is another middle of another swing. So currently my assumption is that this is an important support level that is broken. Going back the other way, and these are all here, you know, even before the day opens, a lot of these. You know, you can just get a feel for where these pivot areas are going to come in based on, you know, the larger structure that we use, market structure.